It's a new month, which means we have a new monthly theme, and the theme is Rollin' in the Deep, which immediately has me singing Adele. And the talks this month are deeply inspired by a remarkable book, which if you're in the mood for some remarkable, life-changing, worldview-changing nonfiction, I would invite you to check out the book Undrowned by Alexis Pauline Gumbs. Now, the full title of Undrowned, because I love a book that is title, really, really long subtitle. So it is Undrowned, Black Feminist Lessons from Marine Mammals, which is proof that there is a good book in every single topic, because it's a really good book. And so today's talk is about river dolphins and what we could possibly learn from river dolphins. It's remember with the river dolphins because we forget who we are, and there are these amazing embedded wisdoms in river dolphins. So who even knew that river dolphins were a thing? They're pink. I'm delighted by this. I'm wondering where Lisa Frank was on the pink dolphins in the 80s and early 90s. They're pink. So there's this entire class of animal, this group of animal that we are all super familiar with. And then they're in rivers, which I absolutely never knew. And there's all this wisdom behind how that comes to be. That when we're considering the lives we want to make, the dreams we're going to create, like the song said, there are lessons we can take from these river dolphins. And when Alexis was writing this book or gathering the evidence, she kept coming up about, the dolphin made this decision for this reason. Is that why my grandmother, who traveled the world, chose a small island to live? Is this what Harriet Tubman was thinking about when she made the decisions she made? And so we're going to talk about some of the ways dolphins make these choices and how those truths might resonate through your life or carry you into another way of expressing in the life that you have. And we're going to talk about it using real stuff that's going on in the world right now, because if we're not using our spirituality to contextualize and process what's happening in the world around us, then what the heck are we doing, right? So we're all going to take a breath, and we're going to put on our big girl, big boy panties. And we're going to talk about some dolphins, yeah? All right. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what we call true river dolphins. This is a true river dolphin. Isn't it cute? They're pink. They're pink because they're adapted to live in the rivers, in the major river basins, mostly of South America and Asia. The Ganges, the Amazon, where there are those big river systems that open up into the ocean. A certain group of dolphins have evolved to thrive there. They're pink because they're blending, the animals choose their color based on what they're blending into. Ocean dolphins are black and gray because from the top you can't really see them in the water from predatory birds, and underneath they're lighter underneath because it looks like the sky above, right? Now river dolphins are blending into something different. They're blending into the warm red silt of the Ganges or the Amazon River. Let's put our pink dolphin back up. They have a narrower muzzle with many more teeth, better for navigating in the river and catching the different kind of fish that live in a river. Their necks, the vertebra isn't fused like it is with the marine dolphin. They evolved a jointed neck so they can navigate through the kinds of plants that grow in those rivers. It's brilliant. It's brilliant the way nature knows how to rearrange the physical body or the body of our affairs to help us thrive right where we are at. These adaptations give the river dolphins agility, flexibility. It gives them a need to exist in the environment differently. And one of the things that the dolphins gave up in their evolutionary move to the river is sight. They have eyes, but they don't have the specific kind of lens that allows river animals to see through that silty water. So they developed echolocation. And it's exactly the kind of echolocation that blind people, blind humans, use. They send out sonar clicks that bounce back and tell them what is around them. So constantly, continually, they're going and getting information about where they are at. So the lesson of the river dolphin is presence, being present to where they are. Not just noticing, but actively choosing to be present and to continually do the work it takes to know what's going on around you. Now, it keeps the dolphins safe. It helps them find their food. It developed a whole technology that have allowed blind people who choose to learn that skill to navigate with their clicks. This presence takes work, but the gift is bigger. So I invite you to look at your own life. How present are you? How present are you? How often are you really listening to the person in front of you? No phone, no knitting. Really, no TV. Really listening. Really present. It's harder than it sounds because this world that we have created up to this point is so full of fabulous distractions. It's absolutely full of them. But becoming more present gives us the gift of knowing what is going on around us. Whether it's what's going on in the world, what's going on in the life of a friend who's going through grief, what's going on inside our own selves. It is not all that uncommon that my husband, who is wonderful and does not know I'm going to say this, will walk by me with a wound of some kind. And I will say, "What happened to your leg?" And he says, "I don't know. I don't know. Something must have hit me." We at least ought strive to be present enough to know when we get injured. But it's not that uncommon, is it? Something happens and I'm like, I don't know. Where did I put my glasses? Talking on the phone to my stepdaughter, looking for my phone. She laughed really hard. Totally fair. Are you tuned in to what's happening around you? Are you tuned into what's happening within you? And take a breath. Choosing to tune out is spiritual bypass. Choosing to tune out what's going on in your own feelings is bypass. Choosing to tune out what's going on in the world is bypass. It's saying energetically, I don't need to care about that. And that doesn't mean you want to dig yourself into every disturbing thing and just simmer there forever. But presence matters. It's how you impact the world by showing up. Now, sometimes we find an ocean dolphin in a river. To me, I say, oh my gosh, they took a wrong turn. But no, there are reasons that some ocean dolphins in some situations choose to live in a river, in the same river basins. It's sometimes because there's more food in the brackish areas. There are fewer predators, especially when they have young. When the environment doesn't support you, change it. The lesson of the ocean dolphins in the river is empowerment. See, we all know what to do, right? We've all read the same 700 books. Color coordinate them on our shelves. We talk about them. I get paid to talk about them sometimes. That's handy. But it doesn't do us any good if we don't take action upon what we learn. That's the same of, what gets said up here that sparks your interests, gets you all riled up. You can talk about it and munch and mingle. If we don't carry it home with us and actually take it into our behaviors, into our choices, into our life, then it doesn't actually make our life any better. Anybody ever fall prey to that? Read the life-changing book, talk to everybody about it, do none of the exercises. I'm going to go back and do the exercises. It's a lie. Don't you fall for your own lie. You are not going to go back and do the exercises. Do them the first time through. Do them the first time through. When the environment doesn't support you, change it. So let's talk about what changing it doesn't mean. Ranting about something that you don't like in the world. Yep, that thing. Yep, that one too. Ranting about it without doing anything about it is lunacy. How many times have you stood on a sidewalk or sat at a lunch table and ranted about the people who do the thing or the people who didn't do the thing, right? Clearly, no one in this room. It must be online campus that did it. It's lunacy. It makes us feel like we're doing something, but we're not. Turn off lecture mode when you're talking to your friends. It does not help. It mostly makes them want to flee your presence. I'm saying this because I need to hear it. Open your mind to fresh possibilities of action. These dolphins are not evolved to live in the river, but they saw an option and they took it. It solved a problem and they took it. They were brave enough to do the thing that all of their little dolphin friends were like, oh, that's crazy. Oh, girl, no. Don't take your baby and live in the river. Those are not our people. They're pink. Be open to the fresh possibility. Be open to the possibility you might not have thought of. We have a quote from Janice Trachtman, who is a well-known writer, and she said, everything is within your power, and your power is within you. You are the only one. You are the only one who can make a difference in your life in a meaningful way. Even if that difference comes from somebody else, you let them in. You went and found them. You met them. You made a relationship with them. You supported that relationship. You did those things. And we can all reject the good just as easily. There are no good men. None in the world. None. The men in this room are looking at me very skeptically right now because that's clearly not true. But if we think it is, that is the world we live. Who I am isn't enough. It'll never be accepted. Clearly not true. But if we believe it, that is what we will get. That is what we will see. Everything is in our power. Everything. But we have to do it. Now, all dolphins, in the river or not, share a trait that is our final lesson, and that is interdependence. Dolphins are remarkably social animals. They're very intelligent. They form lifelong relationships of communal living and mutual support. They love each other. It's apparent in their behavior. Maybe not the way we conceive of love, but certainly the way they do. They do communal hunting. They share their food. They co-raise their young. They will fight to save another dolphin's baby. They babysit the babies when the mothers go out hunting. They take care of each other. They protect sick or injured dolphins while they heal. They're beautifully, beautifully interdependent because they do better when they work together. They live longer when they're in social communal pods. As do people, as do humans. What Mike said, you would think I spoon-fed him those words. I did not. But it couldn't have been more in place in this message, because we do better when we take care of each other. And it is the hardest thing in the world for some reason, in this Western viewpoint, in this worldview in which we are all swimming, to allow ourselves to be helped. And it's almost as hard to help, especially when we don't see that invisible string tying us to someone. It's easy for me to check on my friend Mark who's going through something. It's easy for me to remember to do that because I love him. We have a relationship. But every single member of this community at some point in any given month has something going on. I may not see the invisible string, but I can choose to be someone who shows up, who reaches out, who gets to know, who makes the space. And this is where the talk gets a little bit hard, so we're all going to take a big breath. Legislation passed this week. Perhaps you heard about it. I'm not here to talk about the legislation. That is not my job. My job is to talk about some fallout that might happen as a result of said legislation. You are free to feel however you feel about said legislation. It is large. It is a large tax bill. Inarguably, one of the things that is happening as a result of this large tax bill is there will be less available resources for people who are poverty-stricken, disabled, or children. There just will be. They were cut in this bill. And I feel all around the desire to stand on a sidewalk or sit at a lunch table and rant about how they should do the thing or they should not do the thing, right? If that's you, take a breath. You know about it because you were present. Hey, you followed the first lesson really well. But ranting about something without doing anything is lunacy. The problem isn't the bill. The problem isn't the political parties. The problem is the children, the people in poverty, the people who are disabled, who need support. Guess what? We exist. Before the government did these things, you know who did it? Churches. We could spend the next 2 years crying about Big Bill. Or we could think of solutions that put food and healthcare and resources in the hands of the people that need them without needing any of the people in Washington, D.C. to have a single say about it. We are empowered. We are interdependent. We need one another. And there is a huge group of people in the world, in this country, if you're not in the United States, pray for us, in this country in which I currently stand, that need us to step into that taking care of each other role. That is what the global vision of Centers for Spiritual Living talks about. A world that works for everyone and the willingness to create it. And that is what we're called to today and every day. Are you with me? Right on. Let's bring it together with the words of Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching, who just always guides us rightly. It says, we cannot only embrace ourselves. Somehow our arms must find themselves around the shoulders of all humanity. We cannot worship a God who belongs to us alone. only as we enter into a feeling of the essence that infuses itself everywhere, then at last we can look at each other and say, I worship God in your form. I worship God in your form. I worship God in your form and in the form of every single human being. And it is my pledge to do what I can to make sure that there's one fewer child hungry, one fewer disabled person who can't access health care, one fewer family losing everything, going under, one fewer, one fewer, one fewer. If we all step up into that, there will be no one struggling. We can do this together. And so we will, and so it is. Let's take this into some prayer. How good it is to know beyond any doubt, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that there is this power, this presence that we call the divine, infinite spirit, God, the one mind, and that it is everywhere, in and through and as every single being, everyone. To know that power and love and interdependence and depth and meaning, that they are real, that they are imbued into every single being simply because we are of the oneness. How good it is to know that we are each empowered to be a source of good, to not sit back and complain, but to step up, to be the good, to be the healing, to be the source. That's what we're made to do, to be the source in action. And so I trust whatever was brought into this room in pain, in confusion, that it's being met right here, right now by Spirit. And that the ideas for making this world a better place are rising up within each one of us, completely sourced and supplied by the one. It is so, so good. And so it is.